This is my dad's 6-year-old camper van, but is it still any good? And I'm gonna give you a tour to show you the good, the bad, and the terrible. So let's start this tour with the kitchen. Now in this kitchen, you'll have pretty much everything you're gonna need. You've got a fully functioning faucet and sink in here. Right beside your sink, you have a nice large countertop to do all your prep work for. And on the very end, you have 2 built-in stoves into the countertop. Now, like I said, this van is 6 years old. So actually one of the burners completely broke. And for the people that may be wondering, I did not build this van. He bought this pre-converted. There is also a max air fan in the roof so you can vent out any fumes while you're cooking. And one of my favorite things about this van is this under cabinet shelf. On road trips or just when you get to your campsite, it's so easy to throw your keys up there, your wallet, your phone, whatever you need. It's so easy to just throw anything up there. It's really nice. And another thing I like about this van is these 3 compartment holders. Storage in a camper van can be scarce. So any way where you can find to hold more stuff is usually a good idea in my opinion. Only if it looks good though. On the back wall here, you have a 120 volt outlet hooked up to your 3000 watt inverter. But the other side of this outlet only turns on when you're plugged into shore power. And up top, of course, he has some upperhead cabinets. He's got 3 running along the top here. And these are very decently sized, so you can hold quite a bit of stuff in them. And if you've watched the channel before, you may have watched the video where I actually upgraded his van. In that video, I remade this entire line of drawers, but I couldn't finish them. I ran out of materials that video, so I had to leave you guys on a bit of a cliffhanger, but here it is. Here's the final drawers. And as you can tell, these are already getting really dirty, which is why I do not like white in vans, and I'm not gonna put probably any of it in mine. And he actually has the same 12 volt fridge that I have in my own camper van that I made, but his is a little bit more messy. And under the sink is all storage. It also holds his mini propane tank for the stove. Let's move on to the living area. First thing you'll notice is this chair. And of course, there is storage underneath this too. My dad usually keeps his dog stuff in there for our 2 dogs, Ruka and Maverick. And you may have also noticed that there's a bunch of switches on the side of this seat. Now, in my opinion, I think this is one of the bad things of his van. Your switches for pretty much everything in the van are right here, which is useful at times, but say you're in bed and you have to turn off your main lights, you have to get out of bed, climb all the way down here, just to switch off your main lights. You have a switch for your fridge, your water pump, your max air fan. This switch is labeled zombie lights, which in 6 years we have never figured out what that is. And the last switch here is the light switch for the lights above his bed. But those do have a way to get turned off near the bed, so at least it's not that bad. Then we have a 12 volt socket here and a couple USB outlets which never get used, because right beside this whole panel is a 120 volt outlet with 2 USB plugins. And I'm also sure you've realized the Lagoon table mount right here. He keeps the actual table behind his driver's seat. And it slides nice and easy right into here. This table comes in super handy in all occasions. If you go back and watch my road trip series, I think we use this in every single video multiple times. So this is definitely a good feature. And this door here is actually a hatch into the garage area, which I'll show you later. One last good feature with this living area, the back of this seat actually has a flip up hatch. This idea is pretty cool in my opinion, because you can hold a bunch of shoes in here and not worry about dirtying up your actual van. Now let me show you guys around the cabin. The passenger side seat swivels all the way around. The driver's side does not. And again, the exact same thing with the van that I've built myself. There is a diesel heater under the seat. On the back of this wall, there are 573 stickers and 3 hooks. And this is one of the terrible things of the van. It has so many notifications telling you what's wrong with the van. Obviously, all of these can get fixed very easily by just going to the mechanic. But to get all this done, it's probably going to be a quite hefty bill. And it's just been hard for me and my dad to try and get it into a shop. And the last noteworthy bad thing of the cabin area is the broken piece up top. This somehow broke over the years and we just took it out. You also might be a little bit confused on why there is a belt attached to the headliner. This is actually a makeshift guitar holder that my dad put up, which I'll put a picture on screen for you guys once I have a guitar to actually put up there. All right, let's talk about the bed. This isn't the biggest bed. With my head at the end, my feet kind of still dangle off the end, and I'm roughly 6'1". Storage-wise around the bed, we have two big upperhead cabinets on the passenger side of the van. Another really smart storage decision made by whoever made this van is storage under the bed. There are actually 6 compartments under the bed, 3 in the back, 3 in the front. So we have a small one on the side, a big one in the middle, and a medium-sized one on the right. And like I said earlier, there is a way to turn off these lights from the bed, and it's this guy right here. And it's actually a dimmer switch too. You also have a controller for your Max Air fan, a battery monitor, which I'll get to later, and finally the last thing on this wall is your controller to the S-Bar diesel heater under the passenger seat. This is pretty much everything in the bed area, so now let me show you the garage. Now I did have to put a sweater on because it is October 17th. It is getting pretty cold out here. But I think my favorite part about this garage is the fact that there is so much space to store all of your stuff. But you know, it wasn't always like this. When he first bought this van, there was a huge line of drawers on the inside and the outside of this garage. But my dad mentioned that he values the space rather than the drawers, so I took them all out. Another thing that I really love in this van are these shelves on the side. They're just so handy to hold your tools, your hammocks, and just random things. And back here in the garage, it holds his water tank. To be honest, I'm not sure how big this is. It could be 15 or 20, probably one of the two. His water pump is just back here, and it goes directly up to his faucet. It's a very simple plumbing system. And you fill this water tank by coming up under the bed into the secret compartment and filling it up in the water inlet right there. And there is more storage in the middle and on the right side as well. And then one thing I've got to mention is the shore power connector is right on the side right here. And I also want to mention that this van has a nice ladder on the side, but it got hit one day and it caused it to bend. It didn't actually hit the van, it's just pretty bent now. And looking over to the other side of the garage, this is the entire electrical system. So in the back here, he has 3 110 amp hour AGM batteries. But since these are AGM, you can really only use around 165 amp hours of the 330 available. If you don't know, most AGM batteries damage after you deplete them under 50%. And on our road trip, we completely drained these batteries 2 to 3 times. So I think they're in rough condition right now. This whole electrical system seems a little bit sketchy to me. It seems like the person that did it did not really know what they were doing. For example, to connect the batteries, they used 4-gauge cable. I think I used 1/0, which are way thicker than these ones. And seeing how thin these lines are connecting the batteries, it scares me a little bit. That being said, 6 years being used, we've never had any problems. This electrical system also has a 3000 watt inverter, and it seems to have a 55 amp shore power battery charger. And this, in my opinion, is another bad thing of this electrical system. To reach some of the other components of this van, it's behind this hatch here. But to open it, you've got to rip off this cushion and open it. In here, you have your solar charge controller. You also have your main off and on switch for your batteries, and you've also got your fuse panel. This van also has 3 flexible solar panels on the roof. I'm not sure the wattage of the solar panels, but there's 3 of them. Now back to this battery monitor. I think this is probably the worst thing in his whole electrical system. A battery monitor is supposed to tell you about your system, how it's doing, how much charge you have left. This kind of does that, but not really. The only way you can find out how charged your batteries are is by this little battery icon right here, and the little face above it that is either a smiley face, a neutral face, or a frowny face. I'm not kidding, that's the only way you can find out how charged your batteries are. And to make things worse, that thing changes within seconds. This van also charges the batteries through the alternator, so if you start the van, this will immediately go to full and a smiley face. That's the same thing with shore power too. Your batteries could be completely dead, but the second you plug it in, it will say it's full. My battery monitor tells you the exact amount of amp hours that you have left, and it does the math for you, and it tells you how long your batteries can last, drawing a certain amperage. His just has a bunch of very confusing icons on it, and it's very hard to actually know what your batteries are doing and how they look like. So I'm gonna have to give this battery monitor a terrible rating. With my battery monitor rant over, I think that's pretty much going to conclude our van tour. So would I say this van is still good? Yes, I would say it is still good. You have to remember that van life isn't all about having pristine appliances or perfectly running battery monitors. It's about getting yourself out there, traveling and experiencing the world. For example, I'm filming this van tour at a place called French Beach. I have never been here before, and I'm so excited to check out what the beach actually looks like because for the past 2 hours, I've been recording this van tour. So if you've been enjoying this video up to this point, I want you to stay and watch for a little bit longer. I'm gonna take us to French Beach and we can experience it for the first time together. Got a nice little drinking fountain made right in rock. Oh yes, so there is actually a nice campsite attached to this parking lot that I'm at. So that's kind of cool. It's bright. I wish I brought my glasses. It's also windy down here. Got a nice little park down here. Look at this cool little bridge. Wow, that's all I can say is wow. There's even houses way over there, I see, right on the water. Could you imagine living there? I wonder how much those houses cost. Probably quite a bit. This is a really nice area. They have 1, 2, and 3 group fire pit areas. And tables just everywhere around here. If you've made it this far into my 12th ever video, I can't thank you enough. At the time of recording this video, I'm not at 500 subscribers yet, although by the time this video goes public, I might be. But if I'm not, what are you doing here? Get down there, subscribe to the channel. And if I am, thank you guys so much. It really does mean the world to me. I'm trying my hardest right now to get new videos to you guys every week. If you enjoy my content, consider watching another video right here. With all that said, thank you guys so much for making it this far into the video, and I'll see you guys next time.